Hello, Nuadacube. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just uploaded my first episode of my no commentary Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition playthrough.
Awesome, awesome.
So that's gonna be an ongoing thing now. It's gonna be for like the next like 3 weeks or so. Every day, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. new episodes are gonna be premiering on my channel.
Are those consistent, like daily consistent uploads, or are they like
Yep,
by
yep,
certain days? Okay, so they're full 7 days a week. Okay,
yep. It's all scheduled up.
perfect. Okay, so for me, I am ChrisTronbot, as you can see by my name on the app. I do a variety of content. I mean, people who are on this area know this already, but like, I do trailer mashups. I'm trying to get more into skits. I have some cool skit ideas I've actually written down in a like a notepad. I have like one of my skit ideas is so stupid. It's called which is the best Ninja Turtle. I'm actually working on that, where I
Huh.
try to prove with science what the best Ninja Turtle is. It is the probably the dumbest concept I've ever had for video, but it might actually be funny. Um, but yeah, I've come up with some cool ideas. I'm working on some interesting stuff, and yeah. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about the problems with, as you can see by the title, the problems with the Xbox brand. Now, what we mean by this is quite a few things actually. First off, the marketing angle, which is how Xbox has been perceived by the gaming community. Also, price to performance. No, that's less of an issue, but we'll get into that later. But the main thing that has been an issue, I think we'll start with this, and I'll ask you, what is your opinion on Xbox's the next gen Xbox, the Series X and the Series S's game lineup? Let me start with you on that one.
I mean, like, by the way, this is all constructive criticism towards
Oh,
Microsoft and Xbox as a brand.
yes.
Um, Personally,
We're
I
not
like
haters. We're not PlayStation fanboys. We're not hating on the brand. I
personally I
was an
do
Xbox fanboy at one point.
right. Yeah, no, like, and I was a Nintendo or fanboy at one point or growing up, but
Exactly.
personally though, like, I like Microsoft as a brand. I like Xbox. Per I prefer PlayStation over Xbox for this or generation especially, but the reason why I say that is I feel like Xbox, like, or Microsoft, I'm just gonna say Microsoft from now on.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like they really haven't been honing in on the console exclusives for the Xbox as much as Sony's been with the PlayStation 5.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's a major problem that needs to be addressed because where's the competition? Like, there's really no competition.
Yeah, and I totally understand that. And actually, I actually have an interesting opinion on the game lineup because yeah, right now it is definitely dire. I mean, like all they have coming out this year, I mean, for real. I mean, like their only major release, and I mean, like genuinely, like a AAA release is Halo Infinite at the end of this year, which is a big deal. I think that's going to be a major, not only just a major title for them, but I think that's going to be a title that's going to be relevant for years to come, just because it has a free to play multiplayer angle, which I think is very lucrative at the moment. However, I think the reason I have a different opinion on that. Because right now, boy, the thing is, right now things are bad for sure. Like they're getting curb stomped by Sony for
Yeah,
sure.
because like, or Sony's just like, or launching game after game, like they're on the ball with it.
Yes, and that's where I'm going to go into this. So, I from what I've heard from people in the industry, uh, Microsoft is kind of playing the long game on this one, and what I mean by that is, from what people in the industry have said, almost every exclusive title they have announced so far is years from releasing. I actually heard Perfect Dark is not going to come out for 2 to 3 years,
Wow.
and Fable is about 2 years away that I've read. Because the thing is, let's look at what these developers have made. The developer of the Fable reboot, which is Playground Games, their latest title was, I believe, it was either in 2018 or 2019. The reason that's significant is they're not really they're not versed with like a massive RPG. That's not what their history is. Their history is racing games with Forza. So what I'll tell you is that I think they're being handicapped because they're giving developers this money to make new projects, but they're still working on becoming because most of these studios are used to being smaller independent studios, like Ninja Theory or Playground is not a smaller independent studio, but they were a major racing player, right? So
Hmm.
also Compulsion Games, that's a very small studio that's now an Xbox brand. These studios are very small by nature, but they're learning how to become AAA because of the money that's being tied from Microsoft. So my theory is that they're playing the ultimate game of 4D chess by getting these studios, teaching them the ropes of how to make these big budget games, and then potentially beating Sony in the long run. Because what I think what they're really doing right now is they're just building an arsenal. And right now, we're not going to see the fruits of this for another year or two. So I think Sony's going to win in the short term. However, I honestly think Xbox is going to win the sales war because of the pricing of the right now. No one can even get a Series X or a Series S if they wanted to. But once they're available widely, Xbox All Access is one of the most brilliant strategies Microsoft has ever come up with. Just because
That in Game Pass.
uh-huh. For
Like,
25 to $35 a month, you get a system and Game Pass. It's insane.
yeah, like I completely forgot about their special program that they had
They're
have.
financing, yeah. Yeah, and the reason
Yeah,
the reason most people forgot is because they're like it's available, but even if you want the financing program, it actually sells out just as fast as the normal systems. And remember, financing isn't like buying a system; it's not a few clicks. You have to like sign terms. You know what I mean? So
yep.
I wouldn't for any consumer out there who wants a Series S or X and wants to do it through all access, I would not even do that until and honestly until they're more widely available because I would not want to sign up for a 2 year term for a system if I could not read the terms fast enough. That just does not sound good. But I think that's a great play. I think they're playing the ultimate long game. Right now, Sony has the upper hand in games, but I think over time they're gonna get it up. Like from what I heard, Starfield is actually gonna be a next year title. Do you know what that is?
No, actually.
That's Bethesda's next big RPG. Like that's been in development for
Huh.
like 10 years. It's literally been in development for like a decade. And
Interesting.
it was just announced that it was just revealed by documents that it is not going to be on PS5. It is the first Microsoft Bethesda exclusive, and that's a big
I
deal.
just
That's really
I don't know,
big.
man. Like this
Oh,
my concern is like, I see what you're saying about the
mhm.
longevity. Oh,
Yeah,
did we get a comment?
we got a voice message. Let me play it.
Um,
Oh,
Sorry, but I've got to ask. What are you talking about all access for? There's no such thing on Xbox. And what are you talking about terms that you have to sign with an Xbox Series X?
Oh, so he doesn't know about this. Okay, so there is a pro in the U.S. I don't know if I don't know if you're in the U.S. or not. In the United States, there's a program called Xbox All Access. So this is an optional program. Some people can you can either choose to buy it bulk, like you can just be like, I want to buy a $500 Xbox Series X. But there's some people who would rather finance their system, as in like they'd rather pay month to month for their system rather than buying it like a $500 purchase, right? So this is an option for that consumer who probably wouldn't have enough money to just buy a $500 system on the get go, but would have enough to buy it in payments. So that's the concept of it. And I think it's only in the U.S. and I don't know what other countries it's in. It's definitely in the U.S. though. And the reason I was saying fast enough is because you know how well right now Xboxes and PlayStation 5s are very hard to buy because they sell out within minutes. And from what I've heard, Xbox All Access, which is a program in the United States, is very similar. Where when you have to sign the terms for the month to month payments, you only have a few minutes to do it. And I that's what I'm saying. Like it's a very case by case scenario. Not everyone's going to have that issue, but I've heard people have had that issue. That's all I'm trying to say.
so what you're saying is it's a program exclusively for us in the West?
I think it may be in select countries, but not many.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, it may be in the UK, but I'm not sure of that.
Hopefully that answers your question.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, so what I was gonna say, like, I don't know, like how I feel really about this longevity plan that Microsoft has. I mean, it'll be really interesting to see like how it works out. Oh, we
Oh,
got
wait,
another message.
we got another one. Let's play it. It's from
All
the
right,
same guy, Dale. Good old Dale.
Okay, so the all access thing doesn't exist over here. I'm in the UK, by the way. No, we just
Gotcha.
have to buy
Okay.
the console, which is never available, and I'm dying to get hold of one. But yeah, the only thing that we've got that's even close to that is obviously you buy your console and you get your Game Pass Ultimate, and then you're good to go
gotcha.
with all the games.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry that they don't have that program over there. Yeah, it must be for select countries then.
Yeah, because that's interesting. Because I was under the assumption it was like a global thing, but I mean, I guess it makes sense because I mean, it makes sense because certain countries have different restrictions on like that type of like when you do a payment, when a thing like that, you literally it can affect your credit score, and I guess maybe other countries probably don't allow that. So I guess that makes sense. That must make sense. Why it's probably in the U.S. because the U.S. has lighter restrictions on that stuff. From what I've seen, where it's like the kind of lease payments, and because a lot of people in this country do that. So I don't, that's very interesting. I just thought that was global.
Thank you
So
so
yeah,
much for sharing that with us. We deeply
yeah,
appreciate it, and
yeah.
also we wish you best on your hunt to get a Xbox or Series X.
Oh yes, we know the next gen hustle. We know how hard it is to find
Oh,
these
it is
things.
terrible. Like I was barely able to get my PS5.
Yeah, the only reason I got a PS5 instead of a Series X is let me tell you something. I still want a Series X, but I'll tell you what. I got a PS5 mainly just because I said whichever system goes on pre-order first, I'm pre-ordering that one. PS5 went up first. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not waiting a week to find out I'm not getting either of them. I'm just gonna place the money on the PS5 and be done with it. And because it's one next gen console is better than none. And honestly, the PS5 had some pretty good games I was excited for. So I mean, it sounds I'm really happy with mine. But I still wish I got a Series X in some way because like God, I'm so excited for Halo Infinite. But anyway, continuing.
So, where were we actually?
Oh, you were
God.
talking about how the long run, the long run. You were. Oh
Yeah, yeah,
wait.
yeah. So,
Oh,
oh, got another
finish your
message
thought.
from.
Yeah, finish your
Yeah.
thought. That was good.
So for the whole or longevity thing that you were telling me that Microsoft is planning for the Series X,
Uh,
um, I guess I'm just concerned that like how do I say this? That PlayStation, like the damage from like their blow to Microsoft will like already be there.
and I understand that,
Eh,
but after this message, I'll tell you my opinion because I actually have a an example of that happening and being the contrary. But I'll say that after we play this. Good old Dale. Let's listen to what Dale has to say. Woohoo!
You know, over here, Microsoft and Sony, because you can get neither of the consoles,
Yep, the same over
both announced that the reason that they weren't available in the stores over here was because of the pandemic. They didn't want people rushing to the shops to buy their
here. Yep,
consoles.
yep,
Of course, they
same
that's
could have
here.
how it
just
is over
launched them
here.
to online
Yeah.
retailers only, and rather than small batches, just put them all in online retailers. But no,
Yeah,
no,
they're
no,
just
no.
dumping
It's
stock.
just every now and again they'll throw 10 at us, and then they disappear before you even get a chance of sniffing at them.
Very true, and yes, and exactly the same thing over here. And actually, continuing with what I was saying before, because actually I wanted to finish this thought. But I completely agree with you, Dale. This is a thing
Same
I was
here.
just saying. I have an exact example of a console that has done the exact same thing, and you know what it was? The
What?
PS3. The PS3
Mm.
started out with no games, and Xbox 360 had all the exclusives and all the big titles, including Mass Effect, like a bunch of games that would eventually come to PlayStation 3 were first on Xbox 360 because of the development. And it was a lot. I mean, not because it was an easier console to develop for, but because the thing about the 360 was it just had a larger market share for a
Mm.
long while. And but but here's the thing: the reason why I think Xbox can still take this generation, I mean that, I really do mean that, is that they have they have something that I don't think Sony has, and that's they have leeway because they have Microsoft has so much money that I think they can.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, we already saw it with Bethesda, but like, well, let me give you an example. The whole thing with PlayStation 3, the reason it won It actually sold more than 360 a month before they discontinued the PS3, which is really funny. The PS3 had one of the most brilliant comeback marketing campaigns, which is the two. Have you ever heard of the 299 ads for the PS3?
Yes, yes.
They were that I still attribute that to why the PS3 overtook the generation. They rebranded the system as PS3 instead of PlayStation 3. They gave it a new look. It's very similar to like New Coke to Coke, where like they screwed up, so we're gonna rebrand it as the original Coke.
So
And
basically,
then
what it all boils down to is that there's plenty of time for changes to be made.
oh, for sure.
Like
I think this
there's
is just the beginning.
there's plenty of opportunity.
Yeah, and for example, the PS3 outsold the 360 3 years after the PS4 came out. So that just shows you like there is like buttloads of time for them to turn this generation around. And I honestly think once Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, oh my god, they win. I mean that for real. I mean, Elder Scrolls is on the same caliber of brand recognition as GTA or like a Rockstar game like that.
Right,
When
right.
you release Elder Scrolls and it's only on that console, oh my god, and PC. I think they're gonna sell a ton on PC, but like, a lot of people play those games on consoles because they don't understand the mod support, they don't understand how to use a PC. But most of the tech savvy people play on PC, but a lot of people who just want to play the game play on console. I think that's gonna move so many units. And not only will be a big seller for them, but I think that's going to define.
And then you have people like me who like knows a lot about computers, but prefers to play on console.
Exactly, and that I know you're not an Elder Scrolls fan, but what if I told you like, they're going for a more JRPG format, and then that might get you interested, like a more like, I don't know. There's so much like that Bethesda acquisition could really. They do so much for their brand. Like I seriously believe. I know everyone says it, but like the fact that they own Doom and Wolfenstein is ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
And
if I was gonna nitpick at anything with Microsoft, like one thing I got a nitpick about is I wish they would make like a drastic change to their or UI to make it feel next gen.
Oh yeah. Let's get into that.
Because the UI for the Xbox or Series X, I played my friend's or Series X a while back.
Yeah.
I went to his house, and yeah, so this was like months ago. I think it was probably before the beginning of the year.
So let's talk about software support. I meant to say software earlier. Yeah. Well, let me just tell you let me just say my opinion on the software for the Xbox. I may love the Xbox brand, but I hate the Xbox Metro UI. That's what it's called. It's Microsoft's design language for Windows 8, 10, and the Xbox One. And Series X and X.
It feels really outdated.
Yeah, I genuinely hate Metro UI. Though it's so blocky, flat, and like just lifeless. It looks awful.
They need to do something like back when Windows 10 came out, like they should have like started like work on like some kind of new like Xbox UI that like matches or Windows 10.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I was thinking, no, that's the thing. Windows 10 is built on the same design principle as Windows 8 and Xbox One. That's the thing. Windows 10 is built it's called the Metro UI. It's a design concept that it existed before, but Microsoft basically defined it with their product line. With Windows, it started with Windows 8. People hated it with Windows 8. They actually, and it is on Windows 10. So when you go on the start menu, it has all those blocks. That is Metro. That's the Metro UI. And that it still lives on. And if you go on the settings menu, it still has the Metro blockiness. So Windows 10 still has it. The thing with Windows 10 is it makes it more subtle, where Xbox One is still just that in-your-face Windows 8 look.
Yeah.
And I can see what you mean. Like they need to do kind of what Windows 10 did, and like
because the coolest thing about the PS5, like that I really loved, was the unique UI on the PS5. Like when you start your PS5 up for the first time, you see a certain intro like animation on your screen. For the first time you like start it up, it's like it breathes the system into life. It's so cool.
The Switch does something similar where it just turns into a red Switch logo and it goes
and then it does like a certain like jingle, and then like it does the
Yeah, and then you have a switch, and it's like, man, it basically shows your system is like it basically shows it's coming to life, and it's now in your hands, and you're enjoying it, right? And that that I'm okay with them, like but the thing is, I think you're right about that. Stuff like that really does add personality to consumer grade electronics. I mean, like another example. I mean, I think the master of it still is Apple. I'm not an Apple fan,
Mhm.
but you cannot deny what they do is they really do a good job of presentation. I mean, their whole business
Oh
is
yeah.
designed. Yeah, like their whole business practices making
We
the
have a
most.
whole or rabbit hole to crawl into about their products and stuff,
Oh
but
yeah, oh, for sure. But when it comes to their design language, they're like it's like art. It's kind of insane.
I actually really like speaking of ecosystems, like I really appreciate the like I'm starting to appreciate the Samsung ecosystem.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about the new. We'll talk about other stuff here at the end, just because we want to stay on track.
Right.
But
Oh yeah,
yeah,
no. That's actually a really good idea for another talk. We'll talk about the
you know what?
ecosystem
Let's do that.
for yeah, for the iPhone and the
Perfect.
Samsung or Galaxy. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, so yeah, stay tuned for that one. But we'll continue this so for right now. But I would love to do
Of
that.
course.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So the one thing I'll say about the whole Xbox design language like this is actually an issue I've been having with let me go into the positives with the Xbox design language. We've talked pretty negative about it so far. So I want to actually get some of the positives.
Of course.
So the PS5 one, I love it, but like I think it's the best console UI I've ever used. I'm not even joking about that. But I'm not exaggerating. It's the best I've ever used. And but the thing about the Xbox Series X UI compared to a PS5 UI, the PS5 is very direct to the point, and that's why people like it, like me. However, if you want to do specific things, it is not good for it. That's where the Series X UI comes in, because it's similar to a PC, not with like granularity, but more so with choice of options, more specific choices. And
Basically customization.
I wouldn't call it customization, because customization means like I would usually consider customization as more like a design thing. I mean, it's not if that is what it is, but to the more like general consumer, customization means like look, visual, right? I wouldn't
Yeah.
consider it that. I think this is more like system end changes. Like, for example, the whole Dolby Atmos thing. How like you can use it for. I mean, like I know the PS5 has its Tempest, but the beauty of the Xbox is it gives you like four different spatial audio options, where the PS5 just has
Mm,
Tempest. And you can there's one that's free that's built in the system level, which is Windows Sonic. Then you can there's two premium
gotcha.
ones. I've actually paid for Dolby Atmos because I love Atmos. And or you can pay for DTS, and both of those work with home theater audio setups as well. And the beauty of that is that, and also if you have a home theater setup, you don't even have to pay the $15. You can just use it with your DAC and all that. Here's
Right.
the thing. I think that's a really good thing. However, the design, this is where we're going to go in the negative. While yes, it gives you a choice, it's not very clear on what choices you should make, because it's not very clear to the end user.
Mm,
Yeah, because that's the thing. I use a One X still for my media center. I'll tell you something. Just going through that settings menu is hell. There's so much crap in there, and like you never know which one to click because there's so many options. But like that's what I'm saying. Like they give you a lot of choices. They just don't give you like a good idea of what you should do.
mm.
More, it should be more like for me. I'm a very tech savvy individual, as you are as well. So we take time. It'll take a while, but we'll get it right. To a common
Right.
consumer buying a Series X or a Series S, they're gonna have no idea what the hell to do with their settings menu, because it's just foreign to them.
They're
And
gonna have
I
to
think
basically go on their phone and look up like a tips and
that,
tricks
yeah,
or
with
video
everything,
like for
with
their
everything,
or
with
Series X.
everything. Yeah, and that's with
Well,
everything.
even
They're
with the
like,
PS5, like I did that too, but like
yeah, but
to or
not to
learn
some
more
extent.
about it,
Yeah,
but yeah, just
but
like
never to
what
that extent.
you're saying is it's not as consumer or friendly as the PS5.
For sure. And I think that's gonna alienate a lot of consumers, because that's just like what another fact
Yeah,
for the
there is.
$500 system
Yeah,
that makes
like I
sense.
remember when I got my Xbox One S, I bought it last year
Yeah,
during like after
COVID.
things opened up a bit here in
Yes.
Florida after the pandemic began. I bought me an Xbox Series, or not Xbox Series. I bought me an Xbox One S so I can play some games with Christian,
Yeah.
and I remember
So,
like
so,
having so much difficulty. Huh?
correction, I have to correct you and say it's called the Sexbox Series Sex. Sorry, continue.
I remember like how like do you remember like when we were trying to get like the audio, like we had like
Yeah.
some issues like with the
Yep.
chat audio
Yep.
and
Because
all the
it's a
settings that like we had
continuing
to go
menace.
through just to get it fixed?
Yep. Because my Razer Kraken was having crackling issues. That was what was happening on my end, and yours wasn't passing through. It was just, that's the thing. It's just like these things should be like laid out so clearly, but they're just not. And that's a major feature that like a normal person would have to do every day. Like,
Did they
oh,
ever
I plug in
fix
my
the
headset.
problem with the Series X? Well, with this with or new gen or Series X where like you couldn't plug in a wired headset?
I did not even know that was a thing, so I have no idea. I actually do. I
Because
never heard that
like
was a thing.
I tried using my wired headset on my Xbox One S and I could not or get it to work.
Oh, you mean USB?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, they literally ban USB headsets on all Xboxes. I don't know why.
Why?
I think can I tell you the real reason.
Why?
Xbox has license deals with the wireless headsets. So like if you know when you make a headset for PlayStation, it's a similar situation. You can make a wired headset and not brand it PlayStation. But they want there to be obstacles because if there is, then you'll be considering buying their licensed wireless. Because the thing is,
I don't
wireless
like that
headsets.
at all.
Oh, I don't either. But the wireless headsets they have to be licensed to the system because they use system connections. They use a system end to end connection between the Bluetooth signal.
That's a load
So
of crap.
yeah, so I know I'm not saying that is actually what it is. That's the only reason I can think they would do
No,
that.
like it makes total sense. Like basically it's to get consumers to buy their wireless headsets.
Yeah. I can't guarantee that, but it's read through the lines.
No,
You know
like
what I mean?
it makes sense. Like not saying it's fact, but
Yeah,
it makes sense. Like
yeah,
cuz what I love about even with the PS4 Pro, like I have a PS4 Pro or lying around here still.
yeah,
Um I can just plug in my or USB headset, which I'm actually using right now to talk, and it
yep,
works perfectly fine.
yeah.
Now,
And
the one thing, kind of off topic, but I
sure.
remember like with the PS4 DualShock controller, plugging in some headphones into that, the audio quality is not that great.
Yeah, and that's interesting. I've noticed the
They
DualSense is
fixed it
better
with
audio
the
quality.
or DualSense though, like it's
Yeah,
perfect now. Like, but like I remember like I couldn't get the audio like to a certain comfortable like high
listening volume.
level. Yeah, it was just too low like audio, but like the Xbox One S, like the I had no problems with that. And then of course they fixed it with the or DualSense, but
See, I've actually had an opposite issue. I've had more issues with audio on my PS5 than any other system I've ever owned, because
huh.
I went from Xbox with the Dolby Atmos setup and expecting like PS5 to sound very similar because they were hyping up the Tempest, and I said I don't think the audio is bad on the PS5. I just think it's not what it says on the tin. I think
Mm,
like certain very few games actually support Tempest, and if they do, it's not natively supported. So like example is let's look at a game like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I never played it, but from what I heard on the press release, it said it takes advantage of Tempest. It's not actually taking advantage of Tempest. It actually supports Dolby Atmos on Xbox. But what they did was
mm,
they all the every PS5 release actually says it's supporting Tempest. But the reason they say that is PS5 uses Tempest at a system level, which means it emulates a 3D virtual surround, but the games aren't designed around that, which that's the problem. Xbox
mm.
has a better solution to this, and I've always believed this, where Dolby Atmos is the main thing they support, and you can also get DTS sound unbound, but that's not the main one. Dolby Atmos works like this: it has a system-wide level where games that don't support it can use it, but there are also certain games designed around it. Now, PS5 has a few games that are designed around it, like Returnal, which is amazing, by the way. That is designed around Tempest, but and also Miles Morales and Demon Souls are actually more. I think Demon Souls is. I'm actually not sure about Miles Morales. Miles Morales technically is, but I think that's also system level. Because I don't because that was the only reason I say that that's a cross-gen release. I think the PS5 only titles are for sure using Tempest. I know Demon Souls first. A fact is because I looked into that. I think I have it. I could be wrong about Miles Morales, but I think that's also an emulated 3D surround. So here's my problem. On the Xbox, they actually have games that are designed around Dolby Atmos, and they're like perfectly tuned. And like when you listen to a game on PS5 that's designed around Tempest, I've noticed I actually lose details in the original sound that's not on Tempest. So like if I turn on a 3D sound and I listen to like but starting like games like Call of Duty, they work fine because it's mostly explosions and gunshots, and you want to hear where the enemy is, right?
Yeah,
In a story-driven game, or even watching a movie with headphones, which some people do, you're gonna lose a lot of that sound profile. I'll tell you why. 3D surround really only works when it's actually created for that platform. When it's system wide, it's emulated. So that means they're taking like the sound of the original thing you're watching or playing, and then they basically an EQ setting that makes it surround your ears or your home theater. So it's not
that makes
actual 3D
sense.
surround. Yeah, so it's not actual 3D surround. It's just like emulating it so it sounds like it. The problem with that solution is sometimes you lose details because it's not right in the right direction of where it's supposed to be from a normal like sound system. So when you're listening to like 3D audio headphones, it sounds fine, or it just sounds awful because like I said, you may be missing details from the original audio signature they want you to with the people who made the product want you to hear, and I think that's my main problem. I'm not an audiophile, but I started to like get into audio last year because like I don't know, I used to think it was all about like visual clarity, but I'm starting to realize now like man, sound really does add a lot, and I'll tell you what I don't think I would ever buy like a Dolby Atmos setup at home because those are like you know how Atmos works, right?
Yeah,
Well, this is off topic, but if you have a game console, oh my god, it's amazing with Dolby Atmos, but it is such an expensive process to turn a room into an Atmos center. Anyway,
like
that's the point.
I'm a film student, so like in
That
my
is
like
cool.
I had to take courses on sound design, and
Yeah,
it's a whole.
it's a whole different
I
sector.
know I'm using this term a lot, but it's a rabbit hole. Like it's a
Oh, for
lot
sure.
to or deal with. Like
Yeah,
you got to know exactly like what you're doing. You got to know all about the different
frequency
speakers for like if you want 5.1 or 7.1 surround.
or special solutions like DTS or Atmos, for example, which were
Yep.
specialized.
It's a lot to or deal with, but
Yeah, and
personally,
the
I
hardest
really
part.
like the 3D audio like on the PS5.
Mhm.
Now lately I probably haven't been well, I mean, for the most part with my PS5, I've been pretty much playing my PS4 backlog on it.
Yeah,
Um, I haven't really actually played many PS5 games, even though I got a bunch of them.
yeah.
Um, I actually haven't touched Miles Morales yet. I need to play it,
I need to. I really need to. But yeah,
but I got it. It's just I just haven't had the chance to play it. And same as like Demon Souls. I got a really good deal on Demon Souls,
yeah. I actually
and
tried it.
I just
I
haven't
tried
touched
it.
it.
I tried it, and I don't have the strength for it. Also, I'm already playing one hard game right now, which is Eternal. Well,
But
did I tell you I beat the first boss this morning?
oh, you did
Yeah. Oh my god, it was hell. I died 5 times this morning. And I finally got past it.
in Returnal?
Yeah, that's the first boss of the game.
Oh my God.
So there are three more. I think there's three more to go. And remember, if I die, I actually have my PS4 on standby mode. Because if I try, there's no saving in the game. So if I turn off my PS5, it literally kills my save. So I didn't want to play any more of it today. So if the power goes out tonight, I'm gonna there's gonna be fire in my eyes. Anyway, back on the train of the Xbox Series X and S. Yeah, moving beyond that one. This is actually an interesting subject because I'm gonna ask. You're not really into the Xbox brand as much as I am, but you have some interest in it. So let me ask this: if there was one Xbox exclusive coming out in the next few years, out of the ones that have been announced, such as Perfect Dark, Fable, you don't really care to see it in the case, I'm not even gonna list that one. Halo Infinite. There's a bunch. There's actually a ton. A lot of them are secret, or we. But the one I'm excited for is Hellblade too. I'll talk about that later, though. I just spoiled mine, but if there's one Xbox exclusive you're excited for, actually, I'll say this: besides Halo Infinite, because that's an easy one. Besides Halo Infinite, what is your most hyped up Xbox Series X exclusive or S?
Oh man.
No, remember, no Halo Infinite and because that's too obvious.
Oh, I got one. Halo it. No.
Well, yeah. There will be fire in my eyes now if you say that.
Oh man, like to be honest, dude, I really can't even think of too many exclusives for the Xbox. Like, but from the ones you listed, I mean, I'm pretty interested in the what's it called? Hellblade?
Yeah, Hellblade's the Senua Saga. I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, no, like the visuals in the trailer looked really, really good for that game.
Have you played the first one? It is actually like a
No,
masterpiece.
I actually haven't.
It's on the PS4. Let me tell you something. That game was actually made for 3D audio. Let me tell you something. That actually probably would play up well on time. That's actually a game that basically requires you to wear headphones, and I'll tell you why. One of the most brilliant concepts for a video game I've ever seen. You're basically mentally ill in a time period where no one takes this seriously. I mean, that's not really. It's like Norse mythology, right? So like,
Right.
I believe it's schizophrenia. And while you're playing the game, the voices are talking to you through the headset, and you're basically the voices are talking to you in your head while you're playing the game. It's weird.
Huh.
So no, because like I said, you're wearing headphones, so it actually feels like they're talking to you. Like they're like, "Kill this person, do this," and you hear them whispering to you in your head. It's so trippy.
That is so freaking cool.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god! Like I played on Game Pass. It is. Oh my god! I'm so excited. The second one, I need to play more of that game because it's something.
We got
else.
a response.
Yes, we do. Let's listen. Oh, it's Dale again. Welcome back, Dale.
Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice was the first one, and it is a phenomenal game that plunges deep into the realms of psychosis.
Yeah.
Because she suffers from psychosis
It's
as you go through the game, and it's her battling the voices in her head and making her decisions. It's an incredible game.
Yeah, it really is. Like I Austin
I'll have to check it out.
That one. Yeah, it is. I would say it's one of the more like it's one of those games you would think like only an indie developer would do. And the thing that was interesting is Hellblade was made by an indie. Ninja Theory is an indie developer, and it was such a like massive success. Like, oh my god, like there's nothing else like it. Xbox is like, oh my god, we gotta buy them before someone else does. Because like, I mean, like that concept and it was executed so well. Like, I mean, that was like, I remember when at E3 2018 when they're announcing all like the acquisitions, I was like, that is one of the best plays I've ever seen a company buy. Like, I mean, yeah, Bethesda was good. Trust me, it was really good. But I mean, anyone would want to buy Bethesda if you had the money. Ninja Theory is something like that's a big play because that was their first like big title. But you know what they made before that? You're not gonna like what they made before that. They made your favorite game. The reboot of DMC.
Oh my! Are you serious?
Yes, but let me give you credit. Let me explain this first. Trust me, they didn't want to make that game. It was probably a contractual obligation because they've changed a lot as a developer. Let me just put that out there. I think a lot of DMC Devil May Cry looked at that game. The problem with that game was more so Capcom than Ninja Theory. I heard the gameplay was decent.
True. Yeah. I mean, it was Capcom that came up with the idea for the game, after all.
Yeah. So I really cannot blame. I don't blame Ninja Theory for that, especially when they basically turned into like a powerhouse of creativity in the industry.
I actually got like halfway into that game, and I haven't touched it since.
Oh yeah, because it sucks.
Oh yeah, no, like they completely ruined Dante and Virgil's characters.
Yeah. And they basically turned into Aiden Pierce from Watch Dogs, which is awful.
They completely like jacked up the story. It's a mess.
Yeah, actually, one of my favorite videos on YouTube was like it was like a back to back of like the most. It was called the most boring video game characters, and it was literally just two. It was Dante from the DMC reboot, and Aiden Pierce from Watch Dogs, and like their monotone ass voice in the footage is like exact, and it's like it's like they bounce off so well because they're both so terrible.
I remember like it's it's been a couple of years since I got into Devil May Cry actually, but like when I first got into it,
you into like
thankfully
right?
I got the HD collection and I experienced that, but
yeah,
before playing this reboot DMC, but like I remember just like playing the reboot and I was just or thinking back on it, I was probably like AVGN going, what were they thinking?
Yeah, well, that's what it was like. That was what it was like when I played my favorite game, Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts.
They made
I played
like
it.
Dante into this like guy that's like picking up like all these like demon chicks
Yeah. Hey, can I just
and
say,
like having a ball with them, no pun
yeah.
intended.
Well, can I just say something? You had your favorite franchise ruined, but mine was also ruined because cars. Banjo Kazooie. But let's get back on topic. Let's get back on the good old Xbox Series X
Yeah.
topic. So
We
I'm
can talk about
gonna
this for a while.
yeah. Our next subject on this topic is the hardware, the good old Xbox Series X and S hardware. This is going to be probably the most interesting part of this conversation because we're going to be discussing the differences between the Series S and the Series X, and if it's a good thing or a bad thing. So
Honestly,
I want
like,
you to start first.
huh?
I want you to start on this one first because I have my own opinion on this.
Just like this talking about the Series X and the Series S hardware.
Yeah, well more like do you think it's good to have a difference between the hardware and the teraflop difference, or do you think it's more so about getting more? Well, I guess what I'm saying is like, do you think it's a good or bad thing? A lower tier product.
Honestly, I mean, I think it's a good thing. Like, it gives the consumer choice
Yeah.
what they want, because everybody has their own opinions on physical and digital games.
Oh, for sure.
As for me, I prefer physical games. I do buy or digital when I have to or when I want
Yeah.
to. Um, we can get all into that, but
That's another discussion
honestly
for a
though,
different day.
but yeah, like honestly, like I think it's a great thing that like I think it's great that they made the Series X and the Series S. Now, I do wish that the Series S hardware was like the internals were like nearly the same as the X.
Mhm.
I don't agree with the fact that it runs a bit lower.
You know,
Because you got the PS5 as the exact same hardware, but there's no disk drive, and
see
it's
that
$100 cheaper.
see that's where no, you mean $100 more expensive.
Well, if it's $100 cheaper if you want to get the
Oh,
digital edition.
than the normal PS5. I thought you meant with the Series S. I was that's what I was confused by. Okay.
No.
So here's where I actually do disagree a bit. And I'll tell you why. A lot of it for me comes down to, in the past consoles usually you were not $500 by nature.
Mhm.
They were, the Nintendo's the only company that's kept their game console prices actually consistent over the past decades,
Yeah.
because their whole philosophy, and this is actually my problem with the modern consoles. Their whole philosophy was, hey, sell at a low price, upcharge on accessories, so it's a called a balloon cost effect. Now,
Yep.
that's fine. But when the price of your product is $500, then it balloons really fast into 1,000, and that's where we get into problems, right? So that's why I actually think the Series S is a really, people say it's $300, but in the long run it's actually 500, where a Series X is actually 700 or 800 when you buy all the things you need. So in the long run, you're
Mhm.
paying the same amount as a Series X, but you're getting a lot more entertainment because you're getting Game Pass, and you're getting another
Okay, so
controller,
like
and maybe a game.
basically like the necessities like if you like yeah, like if you get gold and Game Pass,
Yeah,
that's
well,
like
that's what I'm saying.
another like how much on top of it?
Yeah, well, if you're getting a year of Game Pass, it's 120, and if you're getting a year of Gold, that's 60. Or if you get Game Pass Ultimate, it's 15 a month. So that's why I
Mhm.
say, I think this is a product for someone who has $500 and wants to, let me put it this way. When you're buying a console, you're not just buying the console, you're buying the games, right? So instead of paying $500 to just get a system, you're paying $500 and getting a bunch of entertainment and a system. Where you
Yeah.
maybe paying $500 for a Series X, you're just getting the Series X. You're not getting anything else besides that hardware. So that's why I actually think the Series S is a brilliant product because it makes sense for so many people, and it's actually like, and actually I might get a Series S at some point. I'm not even joking about it because
I've been
I
tempted, but I don't think I mean like me and Christian we've talked like a lot like
yeah, off
off
camera.
or live here about me possibly getting a Series S, but
Yeah.
to be honest, because I'm a collector and I like my physical games, I'm gonna
Yeah,
probably get me the X.
that's totally fair. Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it's a different product for a different market, and I totally understand that.
yeah,
But
and plus,
for
like we
me,
do,
I'm sorry, continue.
like the one thing that I really, really love about Xbox is how they do game share.
Yes, yeah, that is the
Game
that is
share, like, is the like we're
it's
not
better
talking
than
about like
PC. It's better than PC. It's better than
physically or
PS5. It's better
sharing
than PS.
games.
We're talking about digital
Yep,
through the
yep,
interweb.
yeah.
So connect to AOL and get all your X backs.
Thanks to Christian, when I got my Xbox One S last year, I um I was able to we did the game share and I
Yeah.
got like hundreds of games
So we call it a butt
completely
ton
free.
of games. Yeah, from yours truly. But yeah, I mean, because I the thing is, I'm still surprised. I mean, honestly, I'm still surprised by the PS5 as much as I love it because I've invested a ton of money in Xbox, and I'm like, it's just weird because I was so like for like a year, I was like, I'm getting a Series X. No one, you can't tell me otherwise. Within a week, I changed my mind because I'm like, you know what? Halo Infinite got delayed, and on top of that. The PS5 is going to go on pre-order fast, first, and I don't want to wait around for because the thing about the PS5 was it randomly went up, where the Series X had a designated time, so all the bots were ready. So that's why I was like I predicted that too. I was like, if there's a designated time for the Series X, there's no way in hell I'm getting one. So I was like, I
My
weighed out my
my
odds.
reason for getting the PS5 was because um I got a ton of PS4 games. I got like over like 40 physical PS4 games.
Yeah, I own like
And
200 Xbox games, so I need to get a Series X at some point because I a Series S or a Series X 'cause I own way too much shit on there.
oh yeah. But so the main reason why I got the PS5 was so I can play all my PS4 games to their full potential. I
Yeah.
like my good I like my frame rates. I mean, I like um visual quality like or 4K and stuff, but most of my monitors and stuff here are only 1080p.
And they're higher refresh
Um
rates. You want definitely a higher frame
yeah,
rate.
that's what I'm that's what I'm trying to say. Like but also I don't have too many games on the Xbox. Like yeah, we have
Yeah,
like we're doing game share and stuff, but
yeah.
um yeah, I was gonna say something else. Yeah, so pretty much and like also I like I personally like PlayStation a little bit better because like I like my JRPGs and stuff, and there's a
Yeah.
lot more JRPGs on PlayStation and
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
Nintendo
and
Switch than there are Xbox.
that I cannot deny. I mean, honestly, I mean, like the only recent one that came out on Xbox last year was Dragon Quest 11S, and that was on all platforms. But I
Hmm.
will say, Xbox is getting better but they're still not there yet.
Oh
And
yeah,
I mean, the fact Yakuza Like a Dragon was like a major title for the series, that was shocking to me.
I actually want to get into the
Like a
Yakuza
Dragon is
series.
Like a
I
Dragon.
haven't yeah,
I actually have Like a Dragon. Oh my God, it's so good.
it looks excellent.
Yeah,
I like how like it takes
I got
some inspiration from Persona 5.
yeah. Actually, fun fact. I was at the reason I got it, Starland. They had the steel book of it, and I love steel books. And I was like, I was already getting the game. It was like $30 for the game with the steel book. I was like, no, there's no way I'm not leaving with that, and I got it. It's
Wow.
like it's a nice steel book. The steel book was complete. And what I'll tell you is, the game itself it has a free PS5 upgrade too. Just a really good game.
That's another thing I really like about
Great
I mean,
topic. Yeah.
yeah, like the PS5 upgrades. The
And see,
Series X doesn't really have that, right?
no. Actually, that's what I was gonna say. The PS5 actually has a worse implementation of it than Xbox Series X does. That's what I was gonna tell you actually. That's why I'm glad you brought that up because the Series X has a way that's one of the reasons I wanted to get a Series X because the PS5 has really aspect. You don't know because you haven't looked into the Series X one. So explain. So Xbox has something called Smart Delivery on their Series X. That means you put the disc in and it just basically does the version you're supposed to do. Now for on a PS5, like we're pretty tech savvy, so we know how to get the free upgrade on PS5. Most people who are getting a PS5 just click the download button on the game, right? And then they're playing the PS4 version. The thing about Xbox, they
Yep.
dumbed it down really easily, so it just downloads the version that's better for your system. Or if you don't have enough hard drive space on your SSD, then it moves it to your HDD. So it's to the older, the PS4.
So
I mean,
it's more smart about it.
it's way more smart. And actually, so my favorite, I think Linus Tech Tips coined this, where it's like Xbox has smart delivery, PS5 has dumb delivery. I thought that was very funny.
Okay, that makes sense. But
As a joke, I thought it was funny.
so are you saying that Xbox or Series X does next gen upgrades?
Yes, and it does it really well.
Gotcha.
And also from what I've seen, not only is the backwards compatibility compelling, it actually doubles frame rates in older games. Wait, you know how the PS5 does? The PS5 does that as well for certain games. Like Cyberpunk is a 30 FPS game on PS4 Pro. It is 60 on PS5, and it's the exact same code. The problem is
Ghost of Tsushima.
yes, Ghost of Tsushima is another example. The problem is, from what I've heard, PlayStation does that. It can only do that with certain games due to it's some sort of system level thing. But the thing about the Series X, from what I've heard, is because I don't know the extent of this, but what I'll tell you is the problem with these with doubling the frame rate for these PS4 games is that they actually have to work with the company that made it. Like CD Projekt Red, it was originally coming out first on PS4, then PS5, so they wanted it to be 60 FPS at launch, right? Or let's look at the new Mass Effect remake that's only on PS4. Of course, they want a higher frame rate on the PS5 because they can only make that for the PS4 due to hardware restrictions, from what I've heard. Here's the thing. When it comes to other games that are not Sony made or only on last gen, they're not going to want to do that due to licensing because they might want to release a definitive edition of the next gen systems. Now let's look at the Series X. The Series X apparently does it from an emulation level, so they're actually not doing it from a developer's blessing. They just do it automatically from a system level.
Huh.
Not from some sort of hardware level.
So basically, it's like as if you were playing it on PC, but you got better parts.
Yeah, yes, and that's kind of the thing that people compare it to is like when these new Xbox consoles are like upgrading your parts on a PC because it's just upgrading your visual fidelity. And the other thing I'll say about that, when they, how I suppose, not all games still have supported that on Xbox yet, but they're it's way more than PS5, and they're actually expanding it like every couple of weeks. So I think that's gonna be a major like the fact that you can get. So what they're doing is they're actually making 60 FPS games 120 FPS and 30 FPS games 60 FPS on a Series X. Like that's insane.
Huh. That is insane.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like the Xbox may not it may not be perfect always, but they're really doing a lot of good things with backwards compatibility and also hardware level things like that. I think that's their key. That's their key right now is software, hardware improvements, and also game fidelity, and also just stuff like that. Like that's their bread and butter right now. That's what's getting them for the generation.
I mean, overall, like after all we discussed, like I think Microsoft just needs to make some minor changes, like to the UI, for example, we've touched on, but I feel like this after playing on my friend's Series X, I was really disappointed that the UI was basically the same as my Xbox One S.
Oh, and I totally understand. Oh, wait, we got a voice message. We got to play that. Let's listen.
Hey, look, when Microsoft said they were releasing the most powerful console on the planet with the Series X, they weren't joking. The thing is phenomenal.
Yeah,
that I agree with. Because like hardware wise, it is. I believe
Microsoft has like always had the most powerful like console each generation.
Yeah, I mean, look at the original Xbox. That thing was like. Let me tell you something. From what I've heard, rumors of, because I actually am in the original Xbox collecting community. I got out of it because I'm not collecting anymore, but I was in it for quite a few years. I was communicating with a lot of people in the community of the original Xbox, just for our audience. The thing about that system is, they probably, from what I've heard, at least lost like over $100 in each unit. It might have been like 150, because the components they were putting in that thing was ridiculous for the time. I think that was if I'm correct, it cost the same amount. It was way more than a PS2, because the PS2 was about 350, 400, correct?
I think it was. I don't remember.
I mean, like with inflation. So
I don't remember.
It was probably 300 retail then. It's probably like 400 now. You know what? I'm looking up. Yeah, I can do it during the phone. So you can still hear me, right?
Mhm.
Okay. What did the PS2 retail for? Just so we can get correct information. Don't want to give our audience incorrect information. Retail for. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh my God, I was right. 299. So 300. I was right. That's. But remember, that's the. So with inflation, that would have been like 400, 450
Jeez.
for a PS2. I mean, no, probably more like 400 because it would have been. It was like the year 2000, so it probably would have been like $100 increase. Okay. So now let's look at the original. I think the original Xbox was either 400 or 450. So let me look it up. Xbox.
How much or was it at launch?
You mean the PS2?
No, the Xbox.
That's what I'm looking at right now. The original Xbox retailed for how much? Aha! Oh my God! It was 500, and that's not including inflation. No, wait, no,
Sheesh.
no, wait, no. That's the Xbox One. That's the Xbox One, not the original Xbox. Man,
Okay, gotcha.
man, Xbox and your awful names. Anyway, Xbox retail price 2001. Curious. Oh, it was the same price as the PS2. Now that's surprising to me.
Wow.
Really? Okay, so they might have lost even more than 150 because the components they were putting in the original Xbox were like double a PS. Well, no, not double. Like they're like a 50% faster than a PS2, which is a huge leap in that kind of console. It might have been even 75. And it had a really big hard drive for the time, like a 20 terabyte hard drive, which I mean, no terabyte, so 20 gigabyte hard drive, which is pretty at the time it was just memory cards, or you could get a hard drive for like online gaming, which was still a new thing in PS2 generation. But I always talk about the original Xbox. How it was like it was a real trendsetter. Like the
Yeah.
original Xbox sent like the way you know about how Xbox Live worked on the original Xbox, right?
How what worked?
How like communication worked on the original Xbox, right?
Sort of. I
It's better than
mean,
the Switch. It's
I
better than the
grew
Switch.
up in that generation, but like I never really got like I didn't own my first original Xbox until I was like 12.
Yeah,
Um,
I never got to use it online, but I've actually experienced it after it went down. I've told you about this before. There's a community online known as Excellent Kai that actually keeps the Xbox games servers up through LAN. You actually connect your computer, you connect your Xbox through LAN, and you play the games
hmm.
online through your laptop's Wi-Fi. So this is how it works. You connect your Xbox through the LAN port, the LAN or WAN, I don't know, port on the back. You connect it to your laptop. Your laptop connects to the internet, and then use that to beam
Oh,
it to other Xboxes across the country. And the reason that works is your PC pretends it's another Xbox and connects it to other people across the country.
huh.
So
That's
it's a
really
very
interesting.
yeah, it's a very tight knit community. I actually want to try this with you someday. If you ever, I mean, it's really complicated. I've done it multiple times though, but it's not an easy process because you have to connect to those servers. It's not easy, but I've done it before, and it like to play a game of Halo 2 in 2018 online. It's surreal on original hardware.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and like I said, you're not playing on the Xbox Live servers. This is all through the LAN system. So like this, like this would be like it's an online LAN party essentially. So it's a very
Huh.
creative way. It's a very creative way to work around the dead online. So that's why. Let me explain what Xbox Live's original online infrastructure was like because it's actually better than the current Switch online infrastructure. There were gamer tags. There were party chat. Yes, there was party chat back then. You couldn't do it in games, but you could actually get in a party chat with 8 people, similar to the 360. And you could just
That's
talk. And
insane.
what people would do, from what I heard, is they would change the channel on the TV and talk while they're watching TV on this while they're talking on the Xbox. They would just leave their Xbox on. And then the other thing was in games there were leaderboards. That was a major feature on Xbox Live because that was not a thing on PC gaming for the most part for most games. Besides like chat rooms and all that, where people would share that. And then also, here's the other cool thing. The voice chat on Xbox was really decent. Like the thing about Halo 2 Online, for example, it was one of the first games to have online progression where you would level up in your matches and get like better customization for your character. That's a modern thing. Like I will still say the original Xbox was a pioneer in what we
Oh
perceive
yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah, no, like or looking back, like it's crazy because like, like the only like online communication we had prior to Xbox like that was the Sega Dreamcast.
Oh yeah, and that was, and there's a lot of shared DNA between those two systems, so it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
you heard a fun fact. The Dreamcast games were supposed to be backwards compatible on the Xbox at one point.
right, no, like Sean keeps a buddy of ours, Sean, he keeps
Yeah.
telling me over and over how the guy behind the Sega or Dreamcast like begged on his knees
Yep.
um to put to make or Dreamcast game backwards compatible
And of course
on the
that didn't
Xbox.
happen. Sadly, it didn't happen. But it is an
Essentially,
interesting story.
the Xbox is actually a Sega Dreamcast too.
Yeah, and because a lot of the games that were in development just got ported over. Shenmue 2, and then they made the version of Jet Set Radio that's basically just the first game, but with a newer setting, which I love Jet Set Radio, so that's awesome. But what I'll say is that I think it was it's not even just that it was, I mean, yeah, it was definitely ahead of its time, but I think there was also an element of like they they really understood what people were asking for. Like they were in touch with what needed to happen in this gaming industry to like keep it going. I mean, the thing about Halo, right? When it was first announced, Austin didn't know this actually. That was originally Halo was originally a title that was announced at Macworld for the iMac, and it was supposed to be
Really?
yeah. Oh no, I did tell Sean this or you. I don't know.
No, I had never been told this.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe I told Sean then. Essentially, Halo was originally a game revealed at Macworld in '99, and it was supposed to finally get Mac into the gaming PC. I guess you say it's not really PC. The Mac gaming war against PC because they were losing bad. They were banking like Mac was banking. Well, Apple was banking on two concepts, which was the Halo game. That wasn't what they got, and Bleem. No, no, wait, not Bleem. Connectix, which is basically their PS1 emulator that was illegal. Well, I mean, actually, the Connectix won, but I still consider it illegal. Anyway, so what happened was uh Microsoft saw what Bungie was doing, and they saw like they saw before anyone else did in the industry. Like back then, they're making like very niche, like smaller RPGs and all like stuff like that, like on Mac. And Microsoft like saw like, oh my God, the people there have real talent, even though they didn't really have an audience at that time. They had a small one, but it wasn't a major one. And they said, hey, let's steal their game. And what happened was, I guess Apple didn't sign like any exclusivity clause or something like that. So from what I've heard, I mean, I could be wrong about that part, but what I will say is Microsoft bought, but they didn't buy a bunch. They basically brought them as a third party developer and a launch partner for that game. I mean, not. I'm just interpreting, but basically they brought him in, and then what happened was originally Halo was an RTS. Do you know that?
Really?
Yeah, it was not a first person shooter originally. Then it turned into a third person shooter. Then they're like, hey, this would be awesome as a first person shooter, and then they brought it to that. Halo had one of the most interesting game development stories. It's actually pretty interesting because Bungie when they all had to move to I think Redmond, Washington, for to help
Hmm.
to start the game, and they actually told Microsoft unless you do these certain things, like we don't want our corporate culture to turn into a business. We want it to be still light so we can be creative and have creative freedom with our projects. And Microsoft met every demand because they knew that they were talented AF.
Huh.
So it's a very interesting story of when you let creatives do their work, they can make good stuff. When there's not a lot of
Oh yeah,
interference, yeah,
definitely.
yeah, and when there's not a lot of interference telling you what to do with your product, you can do very very creative
I think we're
things.
starting to see a lot of that with these new games coming out.
Oh, for sure. And like for example, Returnal is one of the I'm not even joking, one of the best games I've played in a few years. It's like holy crap, that game is amazing.
I want to get me a copy of it, but I'll probably wait till like Black Friday when it goes to
Yeah,
like $30.
wait till it goes on sale. It is a hard motherfucker. Just
Yeah.
and honestly, you're not the biggest shooter
Also, I need to
person.
buy me another external hard drive for my
Yeah,
PS5, but
yeah. And but the other element is you're not the biggest like even third person shooter person. So I think that's not one you should pay 70 for. Just definitely wait till Black Friday.
yeah.
Like for me, I love roguelikes. I love games with good combat, and I actually like some bullet hell. This game was made for me, and I love it. So yeah,
My
I've been very,
PS5 actually, like, you know, like what I've been doing for my backwards compatibility.
what have you been
So
doing?
when I play a PS4 game, I'll move it over to the SSD from my external drive,
Uh-huh.
so I get like the full like fastest or loading times that I can get for it,
Yeah.
and also it'll be on my system. It won't be running off a drive, but I will also be like I use my or DualShock for it every time I play a PS4 game.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh yeah, because you don't want
Yeah,
the sit.
because like of the whole stupid stick drift crap.
By the way, this is another PS5 thing I wanted to talk about real quick. I really want them PS5 shoes. Did you hear about that?
Uh, PS5 shoes. I
You
think I
you
might
didn't hear about
have.
this? You didn't hear about this?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, they're making Air Jordan PS5 shoes.
Oh my God. How much
It,
are they
it,
gonna
it-
be? Like six hundred
well,
dollars?
well, that's the thing. The Air Jordans are never $600 retail, but they get scalped. And you know, if these are PS5 Air Jordans, this is gonna be like the scalper heaven. So they actually retail for 130, which is reasonable. But remember, they don't stay 130 for a few minutes. They go up right after they're on sale. So yeah, but they actually look really cool. They're white shoes with the PlayStation logo over them, and on the bottom it has a blue light gradient. Oh my God, I want those.
Man, scalpers are sure gonna nut over this.
Yeah, if I had $130 right now, I would actually like wait on the site and I would like buy it because I'm not even joking. Like I actually need a new pair of shoes because all my shoes are I know yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've never spent $130 on shoes. But let me tell you something.
Oh no,
Oh my
like
God! Oh my God!
I don't
They look
buy like
sexy.
I actually I am not that like into like stylish shoes. Like I'll just buy
Um,
like a pair that looks good for like 20 to like $60.
oh yeah, I mean just like basic
And
Nikes
that's
and
it.
basic or like basic Nikes, basic sneakers. That's all people really need.
I love or or Nike's shoes. They last like a long time.
Oh, they really do, and that's what these are Nikes. So there you go. These PS5
That's
ones.
awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah, 'cause
honestly,
like oh, I was
no, no,
gonna
no.
say
Continue.
like I bought from Costco. I bought a pair of Fila shoes,
Gotcha.
and I wore them to a convention for literally one day. I burned a hole
Oh,
into them.
they fell apart.
I burned a hole into the sole
Oh my God, that's and
just walking in them.
that's yeah. I mean, like, it's like how do you
We
sell a
took them
product
back
like
the
this?
next day.
Yeah, it's like how do you sell a product that's that blatantly not? The point of shoes is to walk in them. You can't walk in the shoes and that's a defective product.
I took it back the next day and I bought me a pair of Nikes.
That's definitely the right call. Because oh my God, I like the fact like it's like my favorite commentary on designer shoes. It was like from iDubbbz, where he's like shoes are no longer to protect your bare feet from the ground. They're now a status symbol. And then he showed a clip of Kanye like taking off his shoes to walk on like a I guess like a construction site. But that's the entire point of wearing shoes is to walk in them. And he takes his shoes off, his $600 shoes off to walk. What is
Wow,
our
that's
society?
hilarious.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It's like, what is the point of shoes then? Should we all be barefoot? I mean, if they're really that pointless, then I mean, but they're not. That's the thing. It's just like, but
I
it's
think that
completely
this
defeats
goes
the
to
purpose.
show like how materialistic our cultures become.
Oh yeah, and the fact that we want to take off our shoes before we actually, get hurt by walking on a sharp object. It's like what the hell? Like, it's a construction site. You don't know what's under that. You might step on glass if something broke. I mean, like, even if it's like a demo, if maybe they broke down, maybe they had to tear down a building. Maybe there's still glass in the sand. Like, you don't know what's in there.
I find
And
it really or funny how we're talking about the Xbox brand and we're talking about shoes.
well, that's it. Well, that's why I love this app because like you start off with one topic and then you divulge into a bunch of them. I mean, like one of my comments earlier today, I was talking about cooking and then we started talking about The Last of Us 2. Like that, it just they change really fast. He was talking about French cooking, and then it turned into, oh yeah, maybe we were talking about the whole Abby thing. It's just like, but they change really fast. Like that's what's so cool about this app. I mean, I've had
But
many interesting conversation on here.
but Yeah, that's pretty cool that they're making PlayStation shoes. Like to be honest though, like I probably won't buy them.
Oh, I
Um,
definitely won't.
I mean, would they be nice to have? Yeah, but
Yeah, actually, so just so you know what they'll go, I'll send you a picture on Discord so you can take a look, just so you can make an
yeah, no,
opinion.
like
But
I'd be
like,
very interested. I
yeah,
remember like when Nintendo teamed up with Vans and they did their shoes.
yep, I
That
own
was
those.
really cool.
I
Yeah,
own them. I wore those every day to school.
do you still have
They're
them?
they're I wore them to school, so they're not in good condition anymore. But I used to wear those every day.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so like they were I had the high tops, I had the Mario ones, the NES ones. Oh, those were I wore those. Those lasted me throughout all 4 years of high school. They were awesome. Oh,
Oh,
let me
that's
send this
so
to you.
cool.
Yeah, so let me send this to you on Discord so you can make an opinion on
Oh,
the
that's
color.
really neat.
I know, right? They look like the bottom is like it has a gradient where it goes to dark
You
blue.
know, something I really love about PlayStation 5 is
Yeah.
the branding of the PS5.
Oh, for sure. And this shoe proves how awesome it is.
Like do you remember the thing that will always like I will always remember is the reveal trailer for the PS5
For
to
me,
like for the console.
for me, that wasn't as impactful. Actually, like, I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it was special. But like for me, I mean, that's totally fine. You think that? For me, my most like, if it wasn't one console that like had a great reveal, it's the Switch. Like that first look video, I
Oh
skipped class.
yeah.
I skipped class to watch that. It was so
I
exciting.
remember like or watching that. That was so cool when the
Yeah,
Switch was first shown.
yeah. Kendall
Cause
sent me.
like
Sorry,
when
sorry.
huh?
Sorry. I was saying Kendall sent me a text under the desk saying, "Go in the bathroom, go on the Nintendo channel." I go in the bathroom and I just stay in there for like 10 minutes watching the trailer over and over again. So there you go. And it was just I'll never forget that moment. I mean, just like go in the bathroom because he did this. He did the same thing when Red Dead Redemption 2's trailer dropped. I'm like, okay, I'm going to the bathroom, Mrs. Whatever.
It'd be or funny like somebody like walks in the bathroom, they just hear you and they hear you screaming.
So what does it think? What does it look like I'm doing? I'm pooping.
Or
Well,
something else.
yeah, yeah. I'm switching things up. Okay, now go. Oh God, what has
I
become
find it
of
really
us?
funny how, or one of the marketing trailers for the Switch was somebody sitting on the toilet playing it.
Oh, Minecraft did that actually once, and that was one of the most brilliant ads when they announced the phone version of Minecraft back in like 2011. They showed it with a guy on the. He said, "Now you can play Minecraft anywhere," and it zooms down. It's just a guy on the toilet.
Oh my God.
I still think like that. That is like primo marketing right there. It's like,
Um,
yeah,
because like that's something that like people like tried to do when the Wii U was out,
yeah,
but
and it really did not
they
work.
couldn't do it.
Yeah, because that damn signal range.
Yep. But
I,
yeah, no, like when the PS5 trailer was shown, like I really liked um the whole like bead thing,
oh
like
yeah,
how like the beads move. So I thought it was really really cool.
yeah. And my
Um,
favorite part is RGB on the system. I think it looks great.
oh yeah. I
It's
mean,
it's not like a keyboard. It's not like a keyboard.
oh,
It's like
this is
very
what
very.
I was going to talk about earlier.
Oh, really? Okay.
The form factor of the Xbox or Series X.
Okay.
I
Right on me.
actually like the form factor of it. Like
Yeah, same here.
it's unique.
Yeah, and on top of that, I've moved my PS5 twice, and I'll tell you right now, um, I wish I was holding something that was a bit more normal shaped.
I mean,
But like honestly,
I
sorry,
love
yeah,
the shape of the PS5. Like I think it's a very unique
it's just hard to
approach that
move.
they 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 took for the system because Sony's been known to make different form factors for their systems.
Agree. I think my main issue is just that like it's hard to move because of those two plates, and that's what I'm saying. Like I've had to move it twice. I'm actually moving again on the 23rd so I can play with some PS5 with my friend PJ. We're gonna play some. We're gonna play some. I'm gonna show him Returnal. He loves roguelikes. So I'm gonna show him Returnal.
I
We're gonna
like
play
the
some.
whole thing, like how it sits on a stand. Like I thought
Oh
that was
yeah,
really cool.
I have
Like
mine
how the
vertically.
stand comes included and you have to like screw it in at the bottom.
Yeah, well, I have mine vertically,
Um,
so I do that as well.
yeah, no, I got mine vertically set. I've had it. Excuse me. I've had it like that since I first got the system. I've been tempted to make it horizontal, but I don't know. I feel
I've
like
done
it just
both.
looks better vertically.
The thing is, whenever I move my system to another part of the house, when I've taken it to my aunt Carolyn's a few times to watch a movie or something like that. Just because long story short about that. But essentially, also I just wanted to show her the new system because she got me a bunch of stuff for it, so I wanted to show her what you know. So essentially, um. I've had to move it twice now, and I always feel like I'm going to break it because, like I said,
Oh yeah.
it's two flimsy back plates together with a really expensive computer in the middle, and you always feel like, will it slip out of those plastic shields? And what I do is when I move it, I actually put it. It doesn't even fit in my backpack. I put it in the top of my backpack. I zip it up halfway, and then I put all the accessories in the front pocket, and that's what I do. And then I put it in someone's car. That's how I. It's not practical. Like that's the Series X because it's a normal shape. It's a lot easier to transport from what I've heard.
The one thing like a lot of people complain about with the PS5 is the glossiness of like the
Oh, I
center
hate
part
that.
of it.
I hate that.
Yeah. It scratches extremely easily.
It reminds me of another console I have, Cough Cough PS3.
You mean the oh yeah, the OG PS3?
Remember how I was going to sell it to you at one point? Back then, it looked great. Now it looks like it went through war because originally it was just light surface scratches. But like, when my dad moved stuff around in the shelf, and I think he knocked stuff on it. Oh my God, it looks like it's been through war. So
Well, you can always take like there's like polishes that you can get for it.
I could, but I've actually heard those do work. However, they actually make the surface matte, not glossy. So I don't want that because
Well,
then it actually damages the texture of the system.
yeah, true.
Which I mean, I'm fine with that. Like I'm fine with a matte finish, but the thing is, if I kind of don't want to do that to hardware because it's just I'm not crazy about like changing hardware just because of scratches. Like that's just me though.
Like I haven't been um I probably should like be dusting my PS5 more, but the one thing I did not like is taking off the faceplates to clean the system
Yeah, I've yet to dust mine just because
because
like sorry,
it's not hard to do. Like what you got to do is like you got to put like one hand at the bottom of the system
and pop it
and
up from the top.
basically what you do is like you make sure your hand is like right over the plate like at the bottom and
You
just
pop it from the
you
top.
you got to do it very slowly. Like you basically lift like with your left hand you lift the at the PlayStation or logo
Uh-huh.
and you just kind of like push it and it pops out.
Okay, so you push it inward and then it pops from the angle you do it.
Yep.
Okay,
And then when you're done, you basically line like the or grooves up with the spikes on the back and basically put your palm like like how it was originally at the bottom and just kind of like move over the plate and it pops right in.
gotcha. Okay.
It's not hard to do. I saw a lot of YouTubers, they did it fast and it would scratch up their system.
And that's why I haven't taken it apart yet because I'm afraid to do that.
Yeah, no, like, I was very afraid, but it's something that you're eventually gonna have to do because you're gonna have to dust out the system. Um,
Mine's in a pretty open area, so right now I don't think I'm gonna have to have that issue for a
I'm in a
while.
dusty room, so
Oh well, the ba
but
like my room is, but the basement's not dusty, so I don't have to worry about it as much.
anyways,
Yeah,
it's really not that hard to do. It's just you got to do like you got to be patient and take your time with it.
for sure.
But what I'm thinking about doing is like third parties have made like stickers to put uh
The
on the
plates.
or glossy part of the PS5.
Oh yes, the D brand makes those.
I'm thinking about getting one of those to protect my
Act-
PS5.
Actually, I have something to send you. Do you know about Dark Blades? You wanted a matte black PS5, right?
Yeah, I've seen the black plates.
Yeah, but they sell a bundle where it comes with the sticker and the Dark Blades.
Right. It's like $60 or something like that.
Yeah, so but I'm just saying that's an option if you ever want to go down that road because
Personally though, like I I think that PlayStation's of like or Sony's eventually gonna make their own.
well yeah, but you're not gonna buy another PS5 just for that though.
No. I personally feel PlayStation's gonna sell their own like faceplates eventually.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I actually think that
I
as
just want
well.
to see if that happens.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Well, the
Plus,
only reason
also like in that time, it'll give these companies more time to work on these.
Well, the only reason I'm not sure about them doing that, and I actually once a product has like a major like people making custom ones, the company doesn't usually like like let's look at an example. The original Xbox 360 has actually has faceplates. The original like white one. That console only had people were only make like official faceplates only existed like for a few months after launch, and the reason is because once Chinese manufacturers knew how to make them and and steal art they just made their own, and
Mm,
and they made some that's one trying to say like usually those faceplates when they're for systems they own like another example is the new 3DS. The faceplates were barely sold in the U.S. because people were making their own custom ones because Nintendo actually sold blank ones in like Japan, so people would buy stock of those and make like custom faceplates in the U.S. and that they basically didn't have a reason to sell them in the U.S. So that's why I'm saying like well yes. I think I think it's a good thing to wait to see. I think I don't know how likely it is, but I think it's a good idea to wait.
eventually, though, like I do plan to get some black faceplates.
Yeah, and but that's what I'm saying. Like I think waiting is totally fine in this case. It's still early in launch, but all I'm saying is like I think if it's like a year, then you're probably safe to do whatever you want.
I can't wait to get my black PS5 controller. I got it officially pre-ordered.
I hope you enjoy it. Like I said, I want the right one, but I don't need it that badly. Like it's one of those things where it's like,
I like got on it immediately because I know scalpers, they're gonna be all over it.
oh, for sure. Like for me, it was more so like I mean, I haven't pre-ordered the controller, but what I will say is like I already have two working dual senses. Like as much as I want a red one, right? I'm like, you know what?
Mm,
I think I can manage. I like that's the thing. Like as much as I want a red dual sense, I don't need one personally. As much as I like it though.
yeah. I'm trying to sell my or secondary, so like once I or sell it, which I hopefully should here within the next like week or so.
That's it. You'll probably find a
Um,
buyer. I think it is a dual sense.
yeah. So I accidentally priced it a little bit over, I guess, like what GameStop's selling a used one for, and somebody made a comment, and then people start putting or laughing emojis all over my posts. It's like,
Oh,
really?
like
Come on.
people are just the internet, man.
Yeah, I'm like I have it set to like I think like $5 cheaper than what GameStop sells it for.
Yeah.
Like
So
five,
it's
ten
not
dollars
even
cheaper.
so it's not even accurate information.
Yeah. People are just jerks, man.
Oh yes, that is the wild west of the internet.
Yup. But I know we've talked a lot about customization on the PS5 for like the faceplates and stuff. I wish Xbox would do something like that.
Oh yeah.
Um, I know with the Xbox X
Mhm.
with the or One X, like there was some really cool customizations like that you could buy like off this. I think it might have been or D brand, maybe.
Yes. But the
Yeah,
D brand makes like vinyl skins.
they made like a skin that looked like the original Xbox, and you can put it on
Oh
your
no,
Xbox
that is
X.
controller. That's controller gear that made that. D brand is a
That looks so freaking cool, man.
oh it does. The thing about D brand's an interesting company I found. They're like a how to explain it? They're like the rock and roll stars of console accessories because like they just talk shit on all social media. Like they made a Linus Tech Tip skin. And
Oh my God.
you know in every Linus Tech Tips video they like say shop lttstore.com.
Uh-huh.
The link for for D Brand's LTT skin was not it's called not lttstore.com.
Oh my God.
I just thought that was
Hilarious.
I thought that was hysterical. And like you know what one of the skins was? It was just a picture of Linus's face on your phone. And you can get that on the Switch too. I was so tempted to spend $30 on that. But I'm like, you know what? I think I'm good. But like just the fact like I could get Linus's face on all parts of my Switch, that's very compelling.
That's hilarious.
I didn't know, right? Actually, go this way.
I love
LT,
his older videos. They're so freaking
oh
funny.
yeah. Have you watched his buying buying bootleg merch? It's the same. It's like the same
Yep.
image. Oh, that's my favorite one. And you know that picture that was on his body? That's what the phone skin is, and the Switch skin.
That guy is literally a walking meme.
Oh, yes, he is. In fact, here you go. This is the one. This is the one D Brand sold. Oh wait, well, let me send it. Please let me send this Discord. Oh yes, there it is. There it is.
Speaking of Discord, do you remember how PlayStation made a deal with Discord?
Uh-huh.
I'm excited for that.
Oh, I am too. That's gonna be the fact Xbox missed out on that is pretty interesting.
It's gonna be pretty awesome, like being able to get eventually a. Oh my god!
For the
Oh
record,
my god, that's hilarious.
for you audio listeners out there, I showed him the picture of the phone skin that just has good old Linus Sebastian on the back of it, and it's just like it's a really blurry, cropped image of his face in a blue room, and it's like it's like his meme face, and they sold that for $30 on their site, and I'm like, that is so brilliant.
It looks
Just
like him picking up a bootleg phone and taking a look at it.
yeah, well, that's the thing. That was a meme on the channel for a while. It was called. There was two. There was that. There was called. It was called. What was that? I don't know what that one was called. There was another one called Sad Linus that looks very similar to that.
Oh my god, that's
So
hilarious.
yeah, back at the beginning of 2020, there was like a big meme about that, like the Linus Sebastian face. So yeah, and that's actually where you remember that the April Fool's Day video I showed you where it was like
Yeah.
yeah, that's where that was born. Or that kind of meme. Oh, my
Oh
leg's
my
cramping.
god.
Ow, 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 ow. Hold on, this is not scripted. Hold on. Major muscle pain right now. That's a Charlie horse.
Oh, I've
um,
had those. They suck.
oh, oh my God, this is really bad time. I had a really bad time for a stereo call to happen on this. I cannot move my leg at all right now.
Oh sh.
Hold on, I'm stretching out my leg. Oh my God. Ow, ow, ow. Sorry about that. Sorry
I've
about
had
that.
those before. They completely suck.
Oh yeah, I have them daily. My dad and I have them daily. Well, I have them less than my dad has them daily. I have them about once a week.
Brought to you by be sure to drink more water and eat
Yeah,
bananas.
yeah. Brought to you by drink water and yeah. But I was gonna say the exact same thing you were saying. And eat tons of fucking potassium. So exactly what you said.
um, but yeah, I wish Xbox would have more customization on their systems.
Oh, for sure. And by
I
the way,
mean, I'm not really a customization guy. Like I'm very OCD.
yeah, I
Especially when it
understand.
comes to putting stickers on things and stuff. Like I
Yeah.
barely ever do that.
Well, that's what I think you would actually like D-Brand because their vinyl skims are like actually like you actually like heat them on and stuff. They're really nice.
Yeah, no, like the vinyl skins, like the best part about them is when you peel them off, they leave no residue.
Yes, and the other thing you should know about them is they have like a really nice. They're made to have like a console like texture. So like on those ones. So I will say if you ever want like a Switch skin, go D-Brand. They're great. I
Yeah,
want to get if they ever sell that Linus meme face again, I might actually buy it because it's so funny. Like it's a good conversation starter. Like, you pull out your phone, it's a weird meme guy on your phone.
put it on your S20.
Yeah. Oh my God. Every time I pull out my phone, it's just Linus on the back of my phone. Oh, I need that.
That's
But
so you.
oh, it's just so. I mean, I love doing stupid shit like that. It's awesome. But anyway, I just want to say this has been a wonderful conversation. I'm
Yeah,
going to bed. But hey,
yeah, we've been
yeah.
talking for like 2 hours.
Oh my God, we have been. You're right. We started. Oh, no, an hour and a half. That's still a lot, though. Holy crap. Uh,
But
we should
we
definitely do this again.
yeah, no, like we covered a lot about the Xbox and man,
Yeah.
it
So
was a
listen,
lot to talk about.
for sure. And this is Austin's first stereo. And what do you think so far? Let me ask that first.
I actually like it. Like I've done discussions before, like with people that have been recorded and stuff, but
Yeah.
this is pretty cool.
Yeah, and they have VOD. They'll actually be on your channel. There'll be a VOD and all that. And the other thing is, I've done one. My favorite. Did I ever tell you the Riddler one I did?
Mm-mm.
There were. This is the funniest thing I've ever done on this app. There was someone who was asking for. It's actually a friend. I met this person on this app, and we became friends after that. It was it was a riddle challenge where people would submit riddles through the voice memo section, and I randomly joined in and started pretending to be the Riddler.
Oh my God, that's
So
hilarious.
I would leave messages and be like, "Riddle me this, Batman." I should be yelling because their
Oh,
family. But I would actually, and then I would give them like really tech savvy like questions. One of mine was, "What is red, blue, and green, but all the colors at the same time?"
Oh my god.
That was the hardest one for them. That took them, I kid you not, like 20 minutes to figure out. And I'm actually surprised they got that one at all. It was that's a TV. Oh, we got a voice memo. Let's roll it. Oh, who is this? Nathan Freeman. Let's listen.
What's up? It's your boy, one and only Blue Eye Warrior 3. I hope everybody's having a good night. Let's get that follow for a follow because it's your
Nope.
boy, one and only Blue.
We're not falling for falling. But no, but I'm glad you tuned in. No worries. We don't need to do follow for follow. But thank you for tuning in. We're actually
Thanks
wrapping
for
up
tuning
now.
in.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Nonetheless, we're about to head off, but this has been a wonderful night. Just talking about Xbox, PlayStation, Linus Tech Tips, the man himself. Just general topics like that. But thank you everyone who tuned in. Thank you, Austin, for joining me. We'll definitely do this again because if you want to, because it's a lot of fun.
Heck yeah.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
I'll see you all on the flippity flip, and I'll see you later, Austin. All right. Bye.
Take
Oh
care.
wait.
Bye-bye.
We got one more.
Well, unfortunately, you will be blocked. Have a good night.
That's just great. Well, anyway, this has been a wonderful night. Here's the thing. Some people are like that. I mean, honestly, the truth. Let me tell you something. I don't give mine to the people like that because the thing is, people like that, they're just there to get attention, and honestly, it's what it is. But honestly, we had a fun night. Let's not let that stop that. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your night, guys. And it was nice talking to you once again, Austin.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.